Let's talk a little bit more about the ambulance corps. Tell me about the things that the corps does for people who are not aware of it. What type of services do you offer?
We are strictly volunteer. We have no paid members here. Everybody who does volunteer here is on their own time. We have the ambulance, which is the same exact thing as a 911 ambulance. We are all emergency medical technicians. We service the communities of Woodhaven, Kew Gardens, and Richmond Hill.
Okay.
The service is free. Is free to the residents of the communities.
So if someone were to, if someone was in need of an ambulance, they would not be calling 911, they'd be calling a different number to dispatch this ambulance.
If they lived in the areas that we service, they can contact us for an ambulance, 718-296-9000 or 718-296-7918.
Compare the costs between free and what people would be paying otherwise if they called 911.
The comparison in cost is unbelievable. We don't charge, and also if you do get a 911 ambulance, it will run you at approximately $600 to $700.
Oh my gosh! So that is if this were to go away, it wouldn't just be a personal blow to you. What would it mean to the community?
Probably more expense to the community because they would have to be responsible for the ambulance bill, because they would be, if they don't have insurance or if they don't have whatever it takes to pay that bill, yeah, they will still continue to get that bill, which means collections and everything else that goes along with it.
So this ambulance that you have one, is that correct?
Correct.
The one ambulance would be dispatched and it would go to those communities that you mentioned and it would take them to the nearest hospital? How does that all work?
Well, actually, we do go to other hospitals outside of the area. Of course, in a 911 situation, we go to the closest nearest hospital. But if somebody was in stable condition and they needed to go to St. Francis out on the island, or if they wanted to go to Cornell in Manhattan, we do take them.
How well staffed is this? You said it used to be 100 people, now it's dwindled. It sounds like you have a lot of family members as opposed to people outside the family. Tell me a little bit about that situation.
Well, at one point we used to have well over 100 people volunteering. Now we're down to about 30, 35 people. Mostly it's all family, different families, but yeah, mostly families who have been involved with this organization for years. And also people who used to volunteer now have come back to help us. It's very hard. Everybody is working nowadays. They can't give up their paid job to come and volunteer. That's why it's so hard to get people to volunteer.
What title should I give you? Like chief or volunteer or chief organizer? What is the title?
Chief Operating Officer.
Chief Operating Officer. Wow, you do so much for the community. I mean, so people in this area, they truly know about your services, you know?
Most of the people that live actually directly in Woodhaven know of us a lot more than the outside surrounding communities.
Okay.
A while ago, we had a big sign on the front of the building. It was electrical, it had gotten damaged, so we had to take it down. So unfortunately, a lot of the neighborhood residents don't even realize that we're still open. So we just got a sign donated that will be put up next week, so at least now everybody knows that we're still open.
How many calls do you think you've taken, or how many times has the ambulance gone out, would you say, in the past years?
Actually, I'm very happy to say that the ambulance is out in the street a lot more now than it was last year. We have a lot more people now getting back into pulling toys and taking the ambulance out. And actually, the past 2 months have been our busiest tours out in the street. So in the past 2 months, we now have gotten over 50 calls.
Wow, in the past 2 months, 50 calls?
Yeah.
Okay. When you say tours, that means actually having to go out and respond to something. That's what tour is?
Well, actually, a tour is when the people come in to sign in. and they take the ambulance out. It doesn't necessarily mean that they'll have a call to do, but they are here on staffed. So if we do get a call, then they can take the ambulance out. And they usually run about 5 hours, 6 hours, the tours.
Okay, I'm just a little confused. I'm sorry.
All right.
I'm trying to process all this. Okay.
The tours are like a shift.
Yes. Okay.
So they still come in, they'll sign in. And
Who are they? The volunteers?
The volunteers, the crew, the EMTs, the drivers. We have what's called tech trainees that are people that we are training to become emergency medical technicians.
Okay.
When they come in, they sign in, and they're here. 5, 6, 8 hour tours, which is the shift.
Yes, okay.
And sometimes it's very busy, and
Right.
other times we may not do any calls, but we still have people here manning the ambulance.
Oh wow. Okay. And for is it manned pretty much throughout the week? It depends on the availability of people.
Yes, the availability during the week is a little bit not too stable right now. It's when people have the time. The weekends are mostly when we have full tours. They go 16, 20 hours during the day.
And you said in the past couple of months you've received 50 calls and people needing help.
Yes, it has gotten very busy. You know, as the weather changes and people are getting mostly asthma and, you know, sicknesses due to the cold weather.
Everyone who works here is an EMT. You were saying something about training. You train people to become EMTs here as well?
Yes. We actually have people who are just drivers. They are not EMTs. We have regular EMTs and we have tech trainees, which are people that we're training to become emergency medical technicians.
Oh wow. And so you train them and then they can just take the tests or whatever.
They take the class.
Then they can be class here and then they can be certified?
We do have classes here. We have CPR classes, we have first aid classes. We do run a full EMT class here. And as long as you're volunteering, the class is actually funded by the state and you don't need to pay.
I see. I see your mom over there now. Is your father still?
No, my dad passed away.
When did he pass away?
In 2001.
That photo up there, outside in the hallway.
We have a lot of them.
Are you in those photos?
I have one in the
Yeah,
back.
point out, later on point out, well,
I can take it off the wall for you.
I can go there, it's
Oh,
not
okay.
a big deal. I don't know, I think that's great. I think so far, I think I got a lot from
Okay.
you. Yeah. Let's see, thank you.
Thank
Don't go anywhere though.
Okay.
Let
I got my
me,
coffee now.
You did great. You did great, Kathy.
Kathy.
You did perfect.
You
Very,
did.
very good.
Thank
Look
you
how
so
red your
much.
face got now. As soon as you got off camera.
You got over it.
Yeah, yeah.